Maybe you've been carrying something heavy lately. Not just the weight of a hard circumstance, but something quieter, something that sits closer to the heart. It's that feeling that somewhere along the way you let God down, that you've made too many mistakes, stumbled too many times, wandered too far. And somewhere in the back of your mind, a thought has settled in like a cold fog, that God looks at you now with disappointment, maybe even with distance. If that's where you are right now, I want you to know that you are not alone in feeling that way. So many people carry that exact weight, that ache of feeling somehow less than in God's eyes, that fear that His love has grown conditional, that His patience with you has finally worn thin. But I want to sit with you for a moment. I want to offer you something, not a quick fix, not a correction, just a word. A word that was written a long, long time ago, and yet somehow speaks directly into this moment, into your moment. Listen with me to these words from Lamentations, chapter 3. It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed, because His compassions fail not. They are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness. Sit with that for a moment. They are new every morning. The man who wrote those words, he wasn't writing from a place of comfort. He was writing from the middle of devastation. The city he loved had been destroyed. Everything around him had fallen apart. And yet, from that very place of ruin and grief, he turns, almost as if catching himself, and says, His compassions fail not. They are new every morning. There's something so honest about that. He doesn't pretend the pain isn't real. He doesn't rush past the hard part. But even so, he finds something that holds. Something that doesn't depend on how well he performed or how consistent he was or whether he had all the right answers. He finds mercy that is simply there, waiting, renewed. I want to gently offer this to you today. The feeling that God is disappointed in you is not the same as the truth of how God sees you. Feelings are real. Please hear that they are real and they matter. But feelings can sometimes carry a weight that isn't theirs to carry. The fear of divine disappointment often grows in the silence, in the tired hours, in the moments when we are hardest on ourselves. And in those moments, it can feel very convincing. But what if, just for right now, we let this verse speak? His compassions, plural, not a single limited supply that runs out after too many failures. Compassions, and they do not fail. They don't waver based on your worst week, your longest season of stumbling, your hardest chapter. They are not consumed by your mistakes. And then, new every morning. Think about that image for a second. Every single morning, before you've done anything, before you've proven yourself or made up for yesterday, His mercies are already there, already fresh, already waiting for you. You didn't have to earn yesterday's sunrise, and you don't have to earn the compassion that comes with today. Maybe you've been rehearsing your failures, replaying moments you wish you could take back, measuring yourself against who you think you should be by now. That kind of self-examination can be exhausting, and it can quietly convince you that God is keeping the same list, tallying the same score. But this passage doesn't show us a God who is standing apart from you, arms crossed, waiting for you to get it together. It shows us a God whose very character is mercy, whose nature is compassion, who is described in the middle of the writer's own devastation as faithful. Great is thy faithfulness. Not great is thy disappointment. Not great is thy distance. Faithful. You may feel far from God right now. You may feel like the gap between who you are and who you're supposed to be is too wide. But the mercy in this verse doesn't require you to close that gap before it reaches you. It just asks you to receive it. To let this morning, this very one, be the morning where you allow His compassion to be new again. For you, right where you are. You are not beyond mercy. You never have been. And you are not a disappointment to a God whose compassions simply do not fail. If this word found you today, if it offered even the smallest exhale, the tiniest loosening of that weight, I'm so glad you were here. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to feel better by the end of this video. You just have to know that you are seen and you are welcomed here, exactly as you are. If you'd like more scripture like this, words that meet you gently in the hard places, consider subscribing for daily comfort and the promises of peace that scripture carries. Every day, there is something here waiting for you. And if someone you know is carrying that same quiet weight, the belief that they've somehow disappointed God beyond repair, would you share this with them today? Sometimes the most generous thing we can do is simply pass a word of grace along. If you have a prayer on your heart, leave it in the comments below. This community holds those requests tenderly, and no one here walks alone. Be gentle with yourself today. His mercies are new this morning, and that includes this morning for you.